I'm Ryan Boxhofer, and I'm going to be answering a question on the fall of the House of Usher. The question I'll be answering is the one pertaining to the narrator and how he describes this house. So the story starts off with the narrator riding horseback through the woods on an autumn evening when the sun is setting. Soon he came into view with this house of Usher. His initial response to the house, or the word he used to describe this house, really sums everything that you need to know about this place. The word he uses is melancholy, which means sad or depressing. This house is actually so sad and depressing that the narrator goes on to say that through his first glimpse, a sense of insufferable gloom pervaded his spirit. He put emphasis on insufferable. This is a quote from the story. I say insufferable, for the feeling was unrelieved by any of that half pleasurable. So he's saying that after looking at this house, he felt an uncontrollable sense of depression. As you heard in that quote, he said the feeling was unrelieved by anything that was half pleasurable, meaning that few things would make him feel less dreary about looking at this house. He goes on to describe the house in very specific ways that I thought provided really good sensory detail when reading. He says things like, I looked at the scene before me, upon the mere house, mere meaning plain, upon the simple landscape features of the domain, upon the bleak walls, meaning the walls look depressing and uninviting, upon the vacant eye-like windows. This is my favorite description that he uses for the house. He's giving so much detail that one could almost see the house as a character. It's just interesting that he says vacant eye-like windows. I just, as I was reading, I was kind of wondering if he meant for the house to be a character, or if he meant for the reader to interpret the house this way. Uh, I did notice that he said vacant eye-like windows multiple times, so kind of just made me wonder. Uh, the way the way he describes this house almost gives a hint that the house has a great deal of history behind it. And as I read on, and as I'm sure all of you read on, you realize that this house does have a great deal of history behind it. You can kind of get that by the people who live in it. They're very odd. Thank you for listening, and that is my question and actually answer.